At once. No memory card equals don't buy Oculus. Why? See, I thought about that. Hi, everybody. By the way, hold on. Let me do my proper hellos here. Lilac, Hero, Dragoon, the High Wario, Mr. L, Super Weird Plush, Nebula, Flipnote, Kira. What's going on? Hello, everybody. How are you doing? How are you feeling? Excuse me. Let me read some of these. I was finding myself humming this. Sitting in a parking lot while my mom has a doctor's appointment. How's it going? It's going well. Going well. As you say that, I am too. Saw Spider-Man again today. Also, I managed to get Ratchet and Clank PS5 for like $20. It's crazy that we're so far removed from the release of PS5 that you can get high-profile games for $20, and the system is still not even available for. I still have yet to see one in a store. Sean in the hunt with a tier 1 sub, subscribe for 49 months. So we're on, Sean, year 5. Thank you so much, Sean. I appreciate that. You should totally get an Oculus if you can afford it. Help to celebrate your 49 months of streaming. Let me go back up here and read some of these. So much snow outside, that means video games all day. Is it really snowing? Oh my God. It snowed a little bit here yesterday. It was as low as like 38 degrees yesterday. And then it went back up to 52 or 55 today. Like it's crazy. It's crazy. Yesterday was the coldest that it has been high temperature for the day in probably weeks. And it was 38. It wasn't even that cold. I'm going all right myself. Going all right, Dragoon. Putting off getting blood work and stuff myself. Holy darkness, Batman. I got all the completion markers in Binding of Isaac Repentance DLC last night. All I need for 100% is to get 3 more items in the game. Did I resist the call of the VR sirens? So far, yes. Let's see. Was this no memory card equals don't buy Oculus? The lore of the dark side is strong. I say buy the Oculus just so Logan Paul can't destroy them. Well, he might make a nice table or a lamp out of them. He'll make a lamp out of them to go with his Game Boy table. Let me talk about that for a second. The Logan Paul Game Boy thing. I don't think it's that big of a deal. It does kind of suck, but tens of millions of those were made, so it does kind of suck. What I questioned was, and because I didn't watch the video, I don't know exactly what he did. I mean, let's be honest here. Part of this is getting so much attention because it's Logan Paul. Let's be completely honest here. Did he use like broken ones, or did he like sit there and go through every one of them to make sure they work and then encase them in epoxy or whatever it was? Because maybe he used. Because I remember that was happening. Yeah, I know there were limit. I saw like the Pokemon ones in there, which kind of sucked. Because I remember that was a thing when they were making like NES lamps and stuff, and people were like, "Oh, I can't believe you're breaking those. You're destroying them." Like, okay, first of all, there's like 100 million of these. Second of all, a lot of them are broken. Like, there are projects that you can do with broken systems. That's why broken systems still often sell for money. Sometimes they try and get repaired. People try and repair them. And sometimes they're going to use them for other projects. I've talked before about the whole Dreamcast system candy dish. The Dreamcast was great for it. If you hollow out a Dreamcast, you can keep the shell together. And you can keep the mechanism when the door opens. You hollow it out and you use it as a candy dish. And they're great. And if people are like, "Oh, you're going to destroy a Dreamcast," a lot of them are broken. So why not? I have always said, if you've got a broken Dreamcast, because I still don't have one. We've done it before, but I don't have one of my own. So I would like to get a broken Dreamcast specifically to do that. Specifically to have, like, by my, you know how by your front door you have a bowl, and that you come into the house. What do? You drop your keys and your wallet and stuff in there. I would love for that to be a Dreamcast, where I come in and I push the button and the little door opens and I throw my keys and my wallet in there. That would be great. Let me scroll back up here. Remember the Oculus. But yeah, Sean, thank you very much. I appreciate that. 49 months. Sean, I could probably buy an Oculus for what you have paid in subs. I appreciate that. Doing good. Got Shadow of the Colossus with some Christmas money and have really been enjoying it. Beat the 5th Colossus and God, that fight. I gotta play. I have that game, I think, on... I think it's on like a remake on PS3 with Ico, whatever. And I haven't played it. It's just so many games I haven't played. I say buy an Oculus just so Logan Paul can't destroy them. Yeah, so I wanted to talk about the Game Boy. But I didn't buy an Oculus yet. Know what's cheaper than a VR headset? KOTOR. Yes, but can I play KOTOR on VR? Have you seen broken GameCubes used as pots for plants? I haven't seen that. When he was in Japan, aside from the obvious stupid thing he did, he went around being a jerk in the city, finds a vendor, buys Game Boy, breaks it, and goes back to the vendor complaining it broke. Yes, he's an idiot. I mean, Logan Paul's an idiot. So I don't think that's under contention at all. Like, I don't think anybody's questioning that. There is or was a store in my area that turned broken consoles into clocks and the like. The cases where Christine plus Game Boy and Game Boy Color were indestructible. But yeah, they were still working. He dumped them in epoxy and then coated them in resin. Yeah. I feel like most people are making mountains out of molehills because it's Logan Paul. And people would still be saying something, but the fact that it's Logan Paul makes it worth. Hey, Heath, Joker. We just got started, so we're just talking about random stuff. So okay. No, Latimer, I just wanted to talk about the fact that I think people are making a bigger deal out of it than it is just because it's Logan Paul. That being said, I do think it kind of sucks. I think it sucks that they're broken, and I think it sucks that they're limited edition versions in there, but I don't know. I got enough going on to obsess about a millionaire doing dumb millionaire things. Companies are pushing $70 for the devs' sakes. Yeah, I like to see if the devs are making more money off of that. So I went to Best Buy today. So I have this thing. Let me explain my process to you. Let me tell you what my process is for buying something big, buying something significant. I would say, if it's a candy bar, I'm gonna buy it. Like, that is not a question there. But if it's a $300 or $400 device, this is my process for it. First, I ignore it. Oculus has been out for a while. I've talked about VR. I've talked about my issues with VR. Everything still feels like a tech demo, which is kind of annoying. But maybe they're fun tech. I say that everything feels like a tech demo, and that's a problem that I have with VR. But at the same time, Wii Sports felt like a tech demo, and it was arguably one of the best games on the system. So it's not like tech demos can't be interesting enough, but so far I haven't really been that crazy about it. Hey, Digimanda. So I haven't been super crazy about it. So this is my process. The first thing I do is ignore it. Whenever something new tech comes out that I might want, I might be interested, or it's the talk, that people are getting going, I ignore it. If I ignore it and it goes away and I never think about it again, good idea, right? Good. That was a good thing I did to just ignore it. After a while, maybe I'll encounter it. Or maybe I'll hear people talking about it, people that I know have similar interests, and they'll talk about how great it is, and I'll say, all right, maybe now I'm going to pay attention a little bit. When I get to the point when I pay attention, now I am I'm paying a little bit more attention, and I'm looking to see when other people talk about it. I'm looking to see when it's going good, Amanda. It's going good. I'm telling everybody my story of my process of making a large purchase. This is sort of like my checks and balances to make sure that whatever I buy is important. So I get to the point where now I'm paying a little bit more attention to it. I'm looking to see when people talk about it. I'm looking to see if anybody I know has any interest in it, right? Because if this was something that nobody I knew was interacting with at all, I wouldn't have enough attention. I wouldn't have enough information. I wouldn't be able to interact with anybody. Like it's like that. So then if I start noticing that people don't hate the thing, right? Because I have people that every once in a while, they're like, oh, we're going to hang out in VR chat tonight. So I'm like, okay, so people are using this thing. So this is the danger. This is where the danger comes in. I enter the research phase. This is when I go into the research phase. This is the phase of now I'm watching YouTube videos. I'm watching beginner's guides. What do you need to get into it? What should you do when you get it first? What kind of accessories are there? What kind of accessories do you absolutely need? Because it may be really cool to say, oh, this thing is great and it's $300. But if you watch enough videos that say you absolutely need this $50 head strap, you absolutely need different headphones, you know what I mean? If a $300 purchase turns into a $600 purchase, that's an easy chance for me to be like, okay, I can't invest in all of that. Like PS5. Like you guys are talking about PS5. Yeah, I still don't have a PS5, but the Poly Mega has piqued my interest since Naveed got it. People have asked me like, am I going to get a PS5? Probably not. Probably not, because I would have to get a PS5. I would have to get PS5 games, and now they're talking about $70 a game. Right now, you're starting to get games that are cheaper. They're going used. They're going on sale, so it's starting to get a little bit cheaper. If we get to the point where PS5s are easy to find, they're cheaper, and there's a huge library of games that are cheaper, then it's worth it, because a $500 purchase, at that point, it would probably end up being a $500 purchase, and I get the system and a couple of games. Right now, a $500 purchase, which is really like $530, or I don't know what the math is there, that doesn't include a game. If the system was backwards compatible, then I would say, oh, well, if I ever get the chance, I can buy it and then maybe get one game and still play my PS4 games. But at this point, you can't do that. So it would have to be a bigger investment. So I get into the research phase. When the research phase is going, at some point I may get to, and this is kind of where I am now. Now I get into, how can I afford this? And this is where I am. And this is the dangerous part, because this is the point where I start going over stuff to see if I could sell something. This is where I start to see how much extra money I have. I start doing the math about if I do this and I do that, can I, you know what I mean? So this is where I am right now. And, there are things that are stopping me. Being poor helps, but I have money in savings. I have $100 in cash from Christmas gifts. So really it would be like $200 plus tax. And the most dangerous part is that income tax season is right around the corner. So I could buy it and use the cash that I have in some of my savings, and then by the time my savings takes a hit, I will recoup that money in income tax. So I'm trying to talk myself out of it, but I can talk myself right back into it. Everything I'm saying to talk myself out of it is counteracted by the fact that, oh, well, I could just do this. I could just do that. Hold on. I'm sorry. I went on my little rant there. By that price slash logic, do Nintendo games benefit devs more since they don't go on sale as much? So devs get more than companies that slash $70 game. Yeah, it doesn't. There's that logic is just not there. What's this? Oh, what? I did I mess that up? Lilac, that link that you posted, was that a glitch or something? I totally understand. I do the exact same thing. I still don't have a PS5, but the Poly Mega has piqued my interest since Navi. You know what piqued my interest now? Which I won't get. Like again, this is I start my process. I don't pay attention to it. Now I paid attention to it, and I already see that the price isn't worth it for me yet. The Analog Pocket. Like, I got to the point where I'm like, all right, let me start paying attention to it. And when I started paying attention to it, what I'm noticing is people are still talking about shortages. They're still talking about, oh, I have it pre-ordered, I have it prepaid, I'm not going to get it for a while. So there's no point in me paying attention to it. So any interest I have in the Analog Pocket has been dashed by the fact that even if I really wanted it right now, I probably wouldn't be able to get it for a while. So there's no point in paying attention. So that's how that process has served me there. I don't have enough physical games since a soured relationship 10 years ago ended with my library getting kidnapped. Wow. Of the PS5 library, currently games are $50-$60. Only about 6 games are $70, most of which are FIFA, COD, Battlefield, and Final Fantasy VII Remake. 300 to Mr. L. So $300. Let's do this. $300 to $600 for an Oculus. What if you? So if I want to plug it to my PS4 to my PC, I mean, so the system is $300, right? Plus tax. So right off the bat, you got to throw tax in there. How much is the wire to plug it into my PC so that I can use it as a PC thing? That's like a $50 wire. Most of the videos I've seen said that the head strap is uncomfortable, so you need to buy an extra pad, which is another $20. There are aftermarket head straps for it. There are controller grips to protect your controllers because you might knock them together. There are grips that make it easier for you to hold on to them. Like, if most of these things are optional, but most of the videos I've seen have said the same thing. The head strap can get uncomfortable, so there's an extra pad that you can get that goes onto it, or you can buy a whole new head strap. You're gonna need the cable, and what was the eye piece, the piece that goes into your face. The one that comes with it is like spongy, so they make silicone ones, and the silicone ones are better for your skin on your face. So right off the bat, there's a few things that you should probably be ready to pick up not long after you get the device. PS5 is backwards compatible with pretty much... Oh, it is backwards compatible. Okay, so the PS5 is backwards compatible. Okay. Why not set it as a bit donation goal? I have talked about that before, Lilac. People have asked me about... For whenever different things happen, they talk to me about, why don't you set a goal or something? I don't like doing that. If you do that, if you're a streamer and you do that, that's totally cool. That's totally cool. I don't like doing that for things that are not necessary. That are not necessary. If I had, say my CPU blows up, right? Knock on wood. Say my CPU blows up. I need my CPU. I need that in order to stream from my PC. So I would probably do phone streams or stream from one of my laptops, and the old laptop that I used to use, and it would be a less intensive stream, but I would stream from that and set a goal in order to help me buy a new CPU. I would need that. Something like an Oculus is not something I need. It's not a mandate. It's something I want more than it's something I need. Like right now, if I wanted to just upgrade my CPU, I wouldn't make a donation goal out of that. I probably could, but I wouldn't because I don't need it. I feel like for me, I like the idea of saving the I know it's going to sound weird. I'm going to try and say this and not sound arrogant when I say this. I feel like if I did a donation goal, I do feel like you guys would help me. I absolutely feel like you would all help me out. I don't want to use that generosity when I don't need it. Does that make any sense? Hang on, let me go back up here. Oh boy, tax season. Hi, Man Spider. Since people are pointing it out, $70 feels more like a cash grab when the companies very quickly slash the price just after the game's released. Yeah. Link should work. It's NES page showing prices back then. Okay, I did see that. What you said about PS5 is the reason I want a Series X, because I can play 360 games on it, which I've never owned, and Sonic Unleashed is 60 FPS on it. Also, there aren't many VR games that go beyond the feeling of a tech demo where I personally wouldn't even bother. With an Oculus. And yeah, so I tried two rhythm games, of course, and I was already like, oh, I really kind of want this. I really could. Now I want to see more things. There's this International Space Station. I guess like a simulator or something. I want that. And it's free. And that's the cool thing. I've been watching videos about like games that are free and experiences that are free, and there's enough there to keep me occupied. The space thing is the one that I really want to do. Other than Beat Saber, Tetris Effect. I was talking to you the other day about this. It was a rhythm game that was like an anime rhythm game that felt like My Melty World. I think it was called Melty World. There was a demo for that, and I really like that. Let me see here. Still, the strangest thing for me over here, the price is on the label. The price on the label is the price you pay. Tax must be included. Yeah, I don't know. I hate the fact that that's not a thing in the U.S. On the plus side, you don't need a PC to use it. Yeah. And that's one of the reasons I would look towards an Oculus, is because until I get the cable to do it, and until I know that my PC can handle it, I know that I can still use the device. Like when I used it on Christmas Eve, it was not hooked up to a PC, and it played great. So that was what gave me a lot. The fact that I was able to use it on Christmas Eve is where I'm getting this confidence to buy the device now. I'm so shocked no one has, besides Nintendo, kind of pushed for a more cost-efficient VR system. I guess, to be fair, no one wants to take the plunge. And I think that's what Oculus is. I think Oculus is the plunge into entry-level VR. Unfortunately, entry-level still means $300 plus tax. I saw the title. I'm here to talk you out of buying an Oculus, unless you already decided to buy one, in which case, okay, it's your money. I don't think I was ever going to convince you. Also, howdy. Probably not, Bobo. Yeah, so I'm still on the fence, and it's frustrating because now I have a little bit of Christmas money. If I would have sold the gift cards for the eShop that I got, I would have had even more. But the PS5 can play 98% of PS4 games. I don't think people have managed to find any of the 2% yet, but the PS5 upgrade, unless you want the game on PS5 or the faster load times, better streaming off the system, or if you don't have a PS4, or it's on its way out, it's a great system, but not a massive upgrade. The main thing I got it for was Returnal, 7 Intergrade, and Final Fantasy 14 for the SSD. Just beat Assassin's Creed Black Flag for the 10th time. Still the best Assassin's Creed. I've heard people say that. I've heard people say they really like that game. Yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough to I don't know, man. I don't know. And they have them too. That when I was talking about my process, one step of my process is to go to the store a couple of times and see it and see how I feel. Because there are things that we want to buy, and then when we see them in the store, we're like, I don't think I really need to buy it. And you kind of talk yourself out of it. They had them at the store today, and I was like I had to really contend with myself to not get it. So I do think I'm going to end up picking it up. I still don't see why the PS5 can't play PS1, 2, and 3 games, even though with PS Now you can. The only PS4 games we know that can't run on PS5 are either delisted games like PT or Black Samurai 2, or really bad shovel. I figured like shovelware is going to be the thing that doesn't work. My brother gave me his PS4 since he got a PS5, so I'm going to stick with the PS4 and their cheap games. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I don't know, man. And I asked you this before. Does anybody here have a VR? Do you have a VR, and what system do you have? Because I've seen videos for the Vive. Is it Vive? Right? HTC. And obviously I watched a lot of Oculus stuff. Every time I look at VR, everything people say about it, it's the same thing they were saying back in the 90s, and it wasn't all that impressive back then either. Nope, too out of my price range. Wait. Honestly, every time I look at VR. Everything people say about it is the same thing they were saying back in the. What do you mean? Like, what do you mean as far as why it's good or why it's bad? Fun fact about the disc drive in the PS5 too, it's probably the reason it can't play PS1, 2, or 3 games. But it can't play music CDs, only Blu-ray music CDs. Wow. I don't own a VR. Isn't really my thing. I'm not really interested in VR. I got an anxiety episode. Really? Wow. You have, I think Dragon, I remember you saying you have PSVR. Yeah, I never had like an anxiety episode, but I did have the first time I used the VR. It made me a little queasy, which this time it didn't do. So I was very happy about that. I don't have a VR mainly because I'm worried about my eyesight. Every time I'm near any screen, my eyes see individual pixels and I'm bothered with it. I can tell you that I didn't notice individual pixels with this. I don't know I don't know what kind of VR you're using or if it's like a legit VR or just the little thing that you put your phone in. But I can tell you I didn't notice anything that looked like pixels. If I had the space or money for VR, I'd probably try and get an Oculus Quest 2, but I have neither. Honestly, Kira, that's the thing. One of the things I was worried about was space. Right? Because whenever you see VR, you see funny videos of people running into walls or knocking stuff over. The Oculus I played sitting down. You can set it so that it sets a boundary so that when you stand up, you draw a boundary line in the actual room, like with the sensor. And then if you leave that area, the camera will turn on so you know where you are in the room. But you can set it stationary, and that's for you sitting down or just standing there, I guess. That's how I did it. I did it just sitting down. VR is good at offsetting that issue, but if you're prone to eye strain or headaches, migraines, then VR, then it's probably not going to be for you. If you can still see the individual pixels, it means your vision is still good. You can play PSVR sitting down with the PS5 controller if you choose. It's recommended in most cases. That's my only thing is with Oculus, I don't know if I can plug in or use a regular controller. I would also like to use a regular controller sometimes for something like Tetris. So I'd be interested to see if that is an option for that system. I will say that's more an issue with PSVR sometimes, but most games let you sit and play. Because, like there's probably some things that, like Tetris Effect, I'm probably going to be better with Tetris Effect holding onto a controller than I am with, like two separate things. Oh, it's like you're there. It's so immersive, those kinds of things. Also, I had a rather physically painful experience with a faulty unit back then. Here's what I would say, Sentinel, about the little bit that I used of it. Here's what I would say when I used the VR headset. Maybe it's because I played Beat Saber and Melty World. These very visually stunning, unrealistic games. I had no problem distinguishing that I was playing a video game. It felt immersive, but not. This is gonna sound weird. It felt immersive, but not like I was there. If that makes any sense, I felt a different. It was clearly different than sitting there looking at a screen or even if the screen's really big. It felt very, very, very different from that. But at no point did I lose touch with the idea that I have a headset on and that I am standing in an environment in real life that I now can't see. At no point did I take a step back and almost fall, or take a step back and I'm like, oh, wait. If I went to move, my brain still said, take off the headset or touch the button so that the camera comes, because you can turn the camera on and see into the room. Not well, but you can see enough to move around. So I was very aware of that if it's time to move, Let me turn the camera on so that I can see the button. Plus, it has that thing where if you set a boundary and you leave the boundary, the camera turns on so you can see into the room, and and the game won't come back on until you step back into the boundary. Does PS5 VR still use the PlayStation Move controllers? Because I think it's funny to me that they only use those controllers. Wait. It was the only use those controllers ever got. I believe it does. I believe the PSVR still does use the Move controllers. Bigger issue with PSVR, they're not a massive issue at all. Making sure you have enough space for the camera to pick up. Otherwise, you go out of what you can see, the game can get bugged. The game can get bugged out till it finds you. Did I use headphones? I didn't use headphones, but the audio was fine. I could hear the game just fine. The one thing I like using the PSVR is the cinema screen mode for movies too. So that Oculus has that. It's an app called Big Screen. And like I said, I've already been, I'm in research mode. I'm in research mode to figure out what apps I would get, what programs there are, what sort of things I can do with it. They have an app called Big Screen, and that's what it is. It's basically a virtual movie theater that you can watch something. And I think now it says you can host 15, well, including yourself, 15 people. So really, if anybody here had an Oculus or something, we could get into the same room and be in the same room and watch a movie together. You can use a 200-inch screen for other games that don't have a VR support. You should play a VR with him. Well, it was with my family. It was with my family, and it was my nephew's system, so I tried it on. Like, that's something that I would try later, but that's not something that I needed to do right now. Like, at that point, it was more of just, let me see if this makes me sick. You know, am I going to get queasy playing this? So I didn't get queasy. So now it would become, all right, let me upgrade the experience a little bit. But I thought it was fine for what it was. I thought that went against Lilac. If I stream it, I wouldn't be streaming. That would be more like, hey, I'm gonna watch a movie. Who wants to pop in the VR and hang out with me? But that's not, because I'd be hosting a private room. I wouldn't be streaming that. That's another thing. As far as streaming Oculus, I don't know how often I would do that. I don't know how regular I would be with that, because I feel like if I stream my view to you guys, you're going to see a gameplay screen that's all over the place. And that's probably not going to be fun to watch. So I don't know that I would stream Oculus or VR gameplay. But like every once in a while I might do it. Like we might do it just to show off or something. You know what I mean? Like, hey, check out this game. I want to show you guys this game in VR or something. But I probably wouldn't do that very often. That would definitely be a personal thing for like, okay, I'm off of stream and we're going to play some games. How would you even stream VR and keep up with chat? Okay, there's an answer for this, Sentinel. There's an answer for this. So you can set, I don't know if Twitch itself has a VR app, but you can create like an office in your VR headset, and I could have the gameplay here and then the chat over here, and then so I would be able to look over and look at chat. Not on like a multi-monitor setup where I've got the gameplay over here and this monitor has my OBS and my chat window, so I can see you guys. You can set that up in VR, because one of the videos I watched was setting up a VR workspace. This one guy was talking about how for office space. So what he had was a multi-monitor setup in a VR office. And then he would sit there and it could see his keyboard. So he would type on, like he would enter his keyboard into the VR assets, and then he would be able to use the keyboard. And then he had multiple screens. But then his office, right, with the windows and stuff, was on like top of a mountain or something. But he was basically doing office work in the VR space that he created. So you really could do that. Yeah, you can have chat in the VR space. VR streams tend to be pretty hilarious to watch. I think it might. I know the VTuber have chat in their pocket in VR, so they can just pull YouTube chat out when they look at them. Like like I said, I'm still kind of in research mode. I would not at all be surprised if by the end of the stream I get in my car and I go back to Best Buy and I buy one. They only had the 128 gigs though, so I would have to get the 128 gigs. What I'd like to know, the one I would like to check out is how much usable space is on the VR, is on the headset, the 128 gig, and how big are the average games? There's a really good video I recommend that talks about the pros and cons of VR by a YouTuber named Noodle, which is really funny and informative. Hold on. Let me click this and keep that one. I watched a bunch of videos. Did I watch this one yet? Hold on. Let me mute that and get past this ad. Let me see if I watched this one yet. No, I did not watch this one. I think I've seen this artwork before. I might have seen this person before. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna keep that video there. Yeah, is it Noodle? Noodle, is that what you said? Noodle. That's the name of the channel. Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. Can I plug a controller? Now I don't know if I can plug a controller into it. Cause so what I want to play Tetris. I want to play Beat Saber. I want to play Melty World. I want to do this International Space Station thing. I keep forgetting about Star Wars Squadrons. I really want to play Star Wars Squadrons in VR, if anybody's still playing that. You're talking about VR makes me want one, but I have the excuse that my fun money needs to recharge before I can do that. I didn't know Elmo's neighbor was a YouTuber. Mr. Noodle, that's right. Okay.